this. Hey, everybody. I'm Dave, and I'm here with Michelle Paul and featured artist of February, Carole Storro. I think
Hi,
we all know which
Dave.
one's
Hi,
which,
Dave.
but Carole is pictured in the middle there, and Carole Storro is Michelle Paul Artist Studios featured artist of February.
And March now.
Yeah. And while she's here now, I just I love to spring things on people. So here is like one of the first times I ever talked to Carole.
Hi, I'm Carole Storro, and I just recently moved to Maine from New Hampshire. I was an art teacher for 25 years, and I'm starting a new chapter in my life to create and pursue my own art. I work with acrylic paints on canvas and wood panels. My husband's a carpenter, so any sort of scraps I can find, for instance, this wood block, I paint on, and he also does my framing for me. So my process starts off a little abstract because I love to add lots of textures and colors to my background first. I use a lot of palette knives in my process, but the foreground, what I choose to put on the canvas after the backgrounds, is a little more expressionist. So I work a lot with birch trees. I started doing lots of florals, so poppies are my new favorite thing to paint, and I'm just having a great time.
So
Yay. Look
I
at
gotta
you.
say, you were now. In all honesty, a couple things. That was Old Hollowell Day this past summer.
Yes.
I think that was our fourth take on that. People kept interrupting us because there's
It
people
was
all
busy
around
in
us.
here.
But so now you've been doing it. So when exactly did you come to Maine from from New Hampshire?
In November of 2022.
Okay, so it's been a full year, just a little over a full
Yes.
year, and
Yes.
you're really digging in deep. That's great, and I love your stuff. I'm not sure I got as much impressionist foreground. I was going through the pictures I had. I need an impressionist foreground, but if we just look here at some of your stuff, here is one of your birch trees, and you do birch trees. I know someone else who does birch trees. That's not a problem. But you have these beautiful trees. I love the mountain in the background there.
That's sold, right?
Thank you. That one did sell.
Nice.
Yes, thank
So
you.
see, people snooze, they lose.
Yeah.
That
Um,
color palette is very, a lot of people comment on that color palette. I use that color palette a lot with the birch trees.
yeah. And here, this is just a close up of. This is actually a fairly small. Is this what 10 by 10, 8 by 8?
6 by 6 on
All
gallery
right, so
wrap.
that's a 6 by 6 acrylic painting, and it just the colors in this are just really great. It's very fun to see in
Thank you.
person. And this, of course, it's those are poppies, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got to make sure because I don't know. I it's me. I don't know, but a field of poppies. I just
Ask him
where
about
did I go?
Ukraine. He'll answer anything. But
I go straight to Wizard of Oz, and
Those poppies, I had stopped at someone's house, someone I didn't know, but I drove by her house not far
yeah.
from where I live, and she has beautiful poppy fields.
Hmm.
And I noticed she was gardening, so I just stopped by and I introduced myself and I said, "Can I please take photos to paint your poppies?" And she was so accommodating, and she was
nice.
bringing me to other places around her property to take more photos. And this is a
Cool.
painting from one of those
Nice.
photos that day.
That is really really pretty. Um, Again, that's a small. That's on the tabletop. Uh, a lot. That's a nice size too for an accent. And then here another um, with a very colorful. And honestly, in the past, I hadn't noticed the mountain until I was going over some of these pictures in the past. This
Yeah.
would have been my favorite background. Now the mountain's kind of edging it out. But what would you say about this background?
Well, one of the um, part of the process of when I paint at the end of the night, if I have a lot of paint left on my palette, I hate
Uh-huh.
wasting it. So I always have a blank canvas and I just scrape what's left. And that background is actually a result of several evenings of leftover paint that I scraped onto the background with a palette knife until it was completely covered. And then I decide, all right, what am I going to paint on top? And the birch trees kind of just spoke to me.
How great is that?
And this painting, before I started naming my paintings, I was at an art show and this young girl came over, and there's this big yellow piece that she thought looked like an angel holding a heart. So right on the right hand side of that. And so I named it Dancing with an Angel because of her comment on
I love
that.
it.
And
And
I
I'm
see it
just
now. I didn't see
clearing.
it. It wasn't intentional, but it's there.
All right, clearing some things up there. So no, and it's great. And so I love the art by accident. And um, I actually just the other day was taking a picture of the paper towel Lori puts under her stuff. I was like, wow, that looks really cool. Let me get a picture of that. I'm going to be using it on the website. And of course, here's this biggin.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
more mountains and that slightly ominous foreground though, but it's shadowy, definitely.
And the splatter. I love the splatter at the end. It's a risk, but it's, again, part of the process.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
and this photo doesn't give it justice. When you see the foreground where you just like tap that paint in there, palette knife, maybe.
Yes,
Yeah,
palette knife. Yep, texture.
and she adds a lot of gold in there too. It's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Thank you.
It's a big piece too. I love it.
Yes.
Although, I we've had so many times when it's like, because especially iPhones will sometimes make colors pop. It's we would rather have the painting be better than the picture. I think
Yes.
I'm happy when people say the photo doesn't do it justice. I'm like, oh, I'm leaving something there for that's great. So now you're artist, uh, featured artist of the month, and
Yep.
you're going to be there. You've had things there. You're there usually, but you're expanding. Are you adding more? Have you brought in more pieces?
Yes, I have a new collection of these are small 8x8 wood
Mhm.
panels, and I have a new collection of these that will be here for
Cool.
our meet and greet tomorrow night and for part of the month.
Yeah.
It'll stay. I have a lot of littles. I've been doing a whole series of small
Mhm.
3x3 up to the 10x10s. So those will be here for the month.
I love those because you know what happens with those days?
I
People
like
buy
mine
them.
little.
There's your little one that I
Yes.
did. But that's what happens is you can buy them and put them on an easel, and you can put them in any little nook or cranny you have in
Yeah,
the
you can put
house.
them on a shelf.
Yep, shelf, fireplace, next
Yeah.
to your bed,
Yeah.
whatever. So
Not
I
everyone
can't wait
has
to see
a
them. I
moose
haven't seen them
bed
yet.
to use, but and so this meet and greet, it's Friday, the 9th, February 9th,
Tomorrow.
5 to 7. You're gonna have wine and cheese,
Yes. We're
and
going to have a raffle for
yeah,
some Carole Storro prints.
cool,
So for those in attendance, they can try for that.
great.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. But if this video will last past that, pretty much you got February. We got a lot of February left, that people can come in and see your stuff. So that's great. The other thing though that's going on this weekend that we might want to talk about is, and here let me adjust things a little bit again, is a little bit of adjustment. Sorry, folks. All right, there we go. That's better. We've got this is a painting that Michel Paul did for the auction, right? And does this auction have a name?
Well, it's just the flood is for it's for the flood that we just had.
Right.
So they're just doing a benefit. They have all kinds of things going on this weekend, and the auction is going to help local businesses in town. So they asked any of the artists who wanted to donate an original piece that can be auctioned off online. So
All right. So there's going to be an online. So we're gonna have to get the link to that at some point
I'll get it to you. Yeah, it's for the
and
flood
put that
relief. I
out.
believe it's going to be
Look
on
for it in the
sometime
comments.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll let you know what the link is.
And you painted this
I
specifically
painted this
for
just
this auction.
for this auction. I mean, I
Yeah.
could have taken one off the wall. I'm like, no, I want to paint something, and it's just the name. It's oil on canvas. It's 20 by 16. It's framed, and the name of it is just "The River Runs Through." And I thought,
It's
You just
gorgeous.
leave
thank
one
you.
word off and you're not violating a copyright.
Oh, well, there you go.
But no, the river runs through, which is great, and that's a nice painting, and we got to see it in its stages, Lori and I, and we liked how It always pops at the end, so that's great.
Thank
So,
you.
but Carole, you're going to have something in, right?
Yes, I have one of my birch tree paintings.
Right, cool. And we're going to get a better picture of that. Presumably, I've edited it in right now, so that people are looking at it. It kind of a Doctor Who
Love it.
temporal mix. We'll talk as if it's already happened.
And this
But
one's a 10 by 10. It's
10
framed.
by 10, great. And another beautiful birch. And what's the background there? What am I going to? Again, I've probably got a picture up, but what's in the
Just
background for this
sky,
one?
right?
It's a sort of a sunset
Oh, look at that!
colors, and
Yeah,
there's a little
yeah.
gold glitz in there too.
Yeah,
That
the
is,
gold that she puts in there is really cool. It's hard to see it here, but
yeah.
on the painting, yeah.
Getting metallic stuff in photographs is always a nightmare, but that's so awesome. So cool. We got that going on. We got uh, so Friday we got the meet and greet. This week we're kicking off the online auction,
Yep.
and I'll be putting a little clip up about your painting later, Michelle Paul. But
Wonderful.
and we got Carole, one of our favorites. Of course, everyone's a favorite.
Absolutely.
Everyone
Aw.
who's hanging up there is favorite too. My wife's hanging up in there, right? The only one that's not my favorite is that dude who has the pictures. I don't know who that on the Kennebec idiot is,
Oh,
but
that Dave Hayes. The only reason I have him in here is because before we took this building over, this used to be called the Hayes Bakery. And so
isn't it?
since he has the last name of Hayes, I thought it appropriate. Let's just take a couple of his photos and throw them up on the
Dormant.
wall and see what happens. But
But hey, you
people
are
love
you
him.
are going to
So
be getting a couple prints from me in the mail along with a T-shirt
nice.
this next week. You should be
Okay.
getting some stuff from me, so that'll be
I'm
some
always getting
fun.
gifts from Dave. It's fun.
Aw,
All
that's
Well,
so
gross and
nice.
no,
stuff.
two of these things you're supposed to be selling for me.
I'm gonna
Uh,
sell them, but that's what I mean.
well,
Surprises.
It's
uh,
still exciting
but
to
a
open.
but a full size lighthouse. Like we're
Ooh,
painting the
nice.
lighthouse. I figured you should
Okay.
have the Squirrel Point picture. So there's that coming to you. So great. It's great to catch up with you guys,
You
and
too.
I hope a lot of folks show up on Friday. And I know it's going to be a good month of art with Carole, uh, bringing in the extra Carolness.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I
Max
just told her
Carolness.
I'm gonna
Max
keep her.
Storro.
Oh, I was just telling Carol I'm gonna keep her stuff up through the month of March too. So people will have 6, 7 weeks to come in, check it out. Days are
Cool.
getting warmer, so maybe we'll have more foot traffic. But her pieces are beautiful, and affordable. And right now, in a couple years from now, her stuff you might not be able to buy it. It'll be worth fives and tens of thousands of dollars. So you never know. So come on in
No,
now.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah,
I think her stuff is great. So,
Well,
yeah,
all
it
thank
right.
you
is.
Well,
very much. I appreciate that.
you guys
Thanks,
have a
Dave.
great weekend, and Dave from away. I'll catch up with you all later.
Okay,
Sounds
man.
great. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Take care.